Welcome, everybody, to a brand new episode and the premiere episode of J-Pool's Gnerd Corner Cosplay Spotlight. Yes, I got it on the second try.
Yay!
Of course, the listeners will not understand that reference because I edited out the first part.
Hey!
So, tonight, I am joined by my special guest. Give it up for Billy, or AKA Petit Bijou Cosplay.
Hello!
Hi there, Billy.
Hello, how are you?
So, Billy, could you tell the listening audience who you are and exactly what you do?
Well, my name is Billy. I'm 19 and I live in Arizona. I've been making costumes for about 8 years. I tend to focus a lot on comic book and movie stuff. I used to do some anime and video games, but I don't do that as much anymore. What else do I do? I do a lot of wigs, and I kind of focus on wigs, makeup, and sewing. So that's kind of my specialty, I guess.
Nice. And how many years have you been cosplaying?
8, I believe, if I've been counting correctly. You lose count after a while.
Nice. And, through those 8 years, have you seen, the rapid expansion of cosplay, the difference from, even 5 years ago to now?
Oh, absolutely. No, it's kind of exploded in these last 2-3 years. And I mean, it's all I've ever really done. So to me, it's always been, present in my life. But now it's really hitting mainstream people, I guess. Because with Heroes of Cosplay and, I guess the expansion of nerd culture, and I hate using that term, but that's really what it is. So a lot of people are more open to costume making and cosplay and know what it is. I remember when I was like in junior high and like early high school, I would say I was a cosplayer, and everyone was like, "What is that?" And now you say that, and everyone's like, "Oh yeah." So it's a very different climate than it used to be.
Exactly. When I first started out, I was, pretty much very simple cosplays. I think the most simple cosplay I've ever done is zombie.
Right.
Or a convention. So,
Sure.
Not much to that, except for the super glued meat to my body.
Yum.
Yeah, that was weird. People are like, how did you make the meat look so real? Actually, it's real meat.
Well, it's real meat, so there you go, champion.
Yeah, it starts to smell after a while.
Ugh, yeah, I bet. Meat dress.
It does give a realistic effect. They do kind of get nervous around you when you do start to, dry up. And yeah, I don't know if you've ever done a zombie cosplay.
Yes, but I never slathered myself in dead animal flesh, so you took it to a whole new level.
Hey, it's just pastrami. That was expensive. That was like $15 worth of pastrami.
And you just wore it? Like, come on, eat it. Did you eat it later?
I'm not gonna eat it if I put super glue on it. That's the only way that stuff sticks.
Ew.
Now, for audience members that, since they can't see us, because this is all audio, can you tell the listening audience what cosplays you have done?
Oh, I dropped a thing. What cosplays I've done? Going really far back, I used to do a bunch of Kingdom Hearts stuff. I did Demix, which was, I made my first prop ever. I made that big sitar thing. Luckily, pictures have not survived. Gosh, I did a lot of stuff. I did, a lot of Hitalia, so I did like Norway and Finland and Italy, any of the cute and or frumpy characters. I was all over that. Then I kind of transitioned more into, well, I did Death Note stuff, but, I feel like everyone did Death Note at some point. I did, Harry Potter stuff. I did Ron Weasley, and then I did, young Sirius Black. And now, like I said, I'm working on a lot more cosplay, or comic type stuff. So I'm doing Hawkeye and Black Widow and Lady Loki and all kinds of stuff. I did Kid Loki, which I guess is something that people are going to see a lot because a lot of photographers have gotten all over that one. So.
Yeah, I've seen that picture a lot, all over the Facebooks.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. I mean, I did it because, actually sunk about $400 into the Avengers, like Tom Hiddleston version of Loki. And then I was like, wow, I'm really short. Let's not do this. And so I have all those materials just sitting in my closet. I'm going to be using some of them for Lady Loki because I'm just going to be using the leather. But Yeah, that was silly. So then I just did Kid Loki, and it went over really well. I love that costume. I have such a good time when I'm wearing it. So
Yeah, and was people really enjoyed that costume.
people who got it really enjoyed it. People who didn't were like, "Oh, I love your variation of Loki," like I made it up or some shit. Can I curse? I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, yeah. This is a rated M show
Oh, cool.
for children who just managed to find this show. Yes, this does have swear words. I don't swear as often, but
I
I
have the mouth of a sailor, so.
I encourage my guests if they want to cuss, so they can say fuck if they want to.
All right. I'm gonna be all over that.
This is not for children. I'm going to have adult amateur film stars that are cosplayers on this show, so
Good for them.
good for them. This is,
I love it.
you know, if they like to go to conventions and cosplay, as well as do their cosplay in front of the camera, if you know what I
Hey,
mean.
I know what you mean. I've seen films.
Exactly. You said you did Kid Loki, but I remember when you were just recently at Arizona Icon, you did what was it? Kate, what's her name?
Kate Bishop.
Yeah, Kate Bishop. I would almost say Kate Noble for some reason.
Kate Noble. Wow, that's like a weird cross between like Donna Noble and Hawkeye.
Yeah, I have no idea why that came up. Yeah, Kate
That would be
Bishop.
terrifying.
Red hair and
Yeah. An arrow coming at you.
kind of look like a mixture between the Black Widow and
Oh my
Hawkeye.
god, there it is. That is what, oh my god. We've cracked it. We've cracked the code.
Exactly. No, but I did a photo shoot with you and Johnny who plays or who cosplays as Hawkeye as well
Yes.
at Arizona Icon. That was a fun little shoot we did.
It was really fun. I really enjoyed working with you. So that was nice. I ended up getting kind of corralled into another photo shoot, like as everyone was leaving, by this photographer who is apparently well known. Um, and he was very efficient. He kind of acted like he had somewhere else to be. So I was very uncomfortable, in front of the camera, and he was just kind of rude, and it made me really appreciate friendly photographers like you who I'm comfortable around and I can suggest poses and you know what I mean. So I really valued your politeness and your humanity.
Oh, thank you. You know, I consider myself an amateur photographer. I'm still working on my craft.
Absolutely.
I did take classes years back, and I have a lot of professional photographers as friends. Everybody from
Yeah.
Grant Brummett to Eric Diallos to going all along the line of the big name cosplayer photographers in the valley, and
Sure.
they've all given me pointers and everything. So it's nice having that help, especially when you're an aspiring photographer.
Right, right.
And also having a fun little camera like mine. It's nothing big, but, to start off with until I can afford a $1,600 camera.
Oh, absolutely. No, I have the same model and it's a great little point and shoot camera.
Oh yeah. And
Gets the job done.
it does a little fun effects and it's pretty clear when it comes to, getting the job done and getting, that high definition image on the camera. So back to, your Kate Bishop cosplay. Why did you decide to do Kate Bishop?
Well, I mean, I read Young Avengers, I guess the reboot, the continuation, the recent continuation of, and I really enjoyed her in those. She wasn't really a focal character because in this Young Avengers group, she was kind of not the leader. But then I picked up the 2006 Young Avengers, which is where she kind of debuts as Kate Bishop. And her outfit was horrible, but, and then she was basically the leader of that group of Avengers. And she's an incredibly powerful character, not in the sense that, oh, she's a badass, she kicks butt, but like, she's, she's feminine and she has depth and she can kick your ass if she needs to, and she doesn't take crap. Like, she mouthed off to Captain America, and you don't mouth off to Captain America.
No.
No.
Well, I mean, he's not going to really do anything. He's more of a,
hey, respect me, I'm an ancient relic. So
I'm from the 40s.
don't talk back to me, son. And I guess the only other person who ever did that was, Clint Barton, and so then he was dead at the time, blah, blah, blah. She got rewarded with the name Hawkeye, yada, yada, and that led me to pick up, what's his name? The new Hawkeye comics. I was trying to remember
by
the
Matt
name.
Fraction.
Yeah, Matt Fraction, there you go. And I just love them. Oh my god, they are so, so good. I'm waiting for the third volume to come out right now because I have to find out what happens to Pizza Dog. I'm sure Pizza Dog is fine, but I have to know.
Yeah,
Um,
I do like the episode. I do like the not episode, but I do like the issue where she takes Pizza Dog, and he's like, "Where'd the dog go?"
you're taking my dog. All right, bye. But it came from a very, very, very deep love of this character. Um, and I really relate to her in a lot of ways. And plus, I kind of look like her, so it helps. But depending on who draws her, I look like her.
Exactly. It is like whoever draws Psylocke, she could look Asian, and sometimes she looks more Caucasian.
Yeah, just depending.
Just depending. Now I saw you had you made that your headpiece. I
My
remember.
headpiece.
Yeah, your headpiece for your Kate Bishop, right? You said that
Headpiece.
together. Your headpiece.
My headband.
Headband. That's it. That's it. Yes.
I'm like, there's no headpiece involved in this. Yes, I did. Yeah, that was, I bought that fabric when I was buying, cause I'm gonna remake the suit, but I bought some, cheap spandex for the time being.
Mm-hmm.
And I was, it was cheap, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna look around and see what else I can find just for fun accents. And I found that cute arrow fabric, and I was like, I'm gonna buy a yard of this and line everything with it. And then it, turned out I can use it for the headband, so hey.
That's awesome. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. That small little detail that you would put on there, and then you look really closely, and it's like, whoa, that's pretty
That makes
cool.
sense.
Yeah, you can't see from a distance until you actually get up and actually look at it.
And that's what I really want to be known for with my costumes, is detail, deep detail, and translation from page to real life or from screen to real life. I want to put my twist on every character that I do. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Exactly. Now I know there's a lot of cosplayers who do the character Black Widow,
Yes.
and I know you've dressed up like Black Widow before. What is your stamp on the character as far as a cosplayer?
As far
It's
as
different.
Yeah, as far as being a cosplayer, what I was trying to bring to her, I mean, obviously it was from the movie, so I couldn't have too many liberties with it, but I wanted to bring kind of a realness to it. I wanted to not, look like I was from a comic book, essentially. I didn't want to look like a cartoon. So I wanted to be matte and, be very, I mean, almost threatening but still very soft looking in the face. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I had to incorporate, Scarlett Johansson's, features, her wonderful lips, which I overdrew mine to hell and back, and her eyebrows and her cheekbones. So I really incorporated her facial structure and that hair. But as far as the suit and the accessories go, I wanted to look very official and very like I walked out of an organization that, kicks ass.
That's awesome. And do you have any future cosplays that you are working on doing later on, like for Amazing Arizona Con or Phoenix Comic Con?
Yeah, I'm actually going to be doing a more classic version of Black Widow with the horrible shiny suit and the round piece belt buckle. That is on my list. Lady Loki from, I can't remember the exact version of Thor, but from one of the old Thor comics, but a Thor comic. Not Femme Loki, but Lady Loki. Real character. Look her up.
Yep.
Not making this up, guys. Not making this up. I'm also doing a USO girl from the Captain America movie just because that doesn't require any special underwear and I can breathe in it. Everything else has to have like a body shaper and a certain bra and all kinds of stupid things. That is just a cute little dress with a nice wig and I'm good to go.
Well, it does require underwear.
It does require underwear, but not
It is a skirt.
It is a skirt. It does require underwear, but it doesn't require my Black Widow underwear because that's a contraption. Okay, that's a totally different monster. So that and I'm going to be remaking Kate Bishop. So I'm going to be doing her Young Avengers version where she has the laser bow and arrow. So that'll be fun.
Nice. Now, to get back to conventions, do you remember the first convention you went to?
Oh God, yes. So many moons ago. I want to say it was Arizona or it was Sabaton Con. It was. I definitely went to Sabaton Con's first run. But yeah, no, I remember that. I mean, it was such a good time because I was so excited that there were people who were into things that I was into. And I mean, a little bit of a background story here. I came from a very small town in Iowa where we had no stoplights. We didn't have internet access, not because we, didn't have available to us. No one just had internet. And so I just grew up watching, sci-fi and anime and stuff like that, not knowing that there were other people in the world who were like really into it. So when I moved down here and discovered cosplay, I was like, oh my god, it was like the light had shone down from the clouds and I knew what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. And so I remember going to my first convention and just being so overwhelmed. And I mean, it was a small convention, but it didn't matter because, in the grand scheme of things, I was very small. So it was really exciting. I remember what was I? I did a host club cosplay, if you could call it that. I mean, it was a blue blazer that I like threw together that week. Um, it was really exciting, and I miss the shininess of everything because everything in the dealer's hall was so new and I'd never seen it before. Now I walk through a dealer's hall and I'm like, yeah, I saw that 5 years ago at this convention and that convention. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you just want that feeling again where you walk in and you're going, I've never
Oh my
seen anything
god!
like this before.
Yeah, I want that craziness back. But, I mean, I get it. I'm not going to have it back because I have been to way too many conventions and I know too much.
I know too many of the people there.
Yeah, I know like everybody, which is good and bad.
Yeah. Unless you go to like another big convention like San Diego or New York, and then all of a sudden it's like a new experience.
Yeah, no, San Diego is overwhelming. I really wanted to go to New York this year because I'm looking to move there for school sometime. But yeah, you can't even see everybody, and that's kind of what Comic-Con PCC was this year. You couldn't see everybody. Like it just was completely impossible.
Yeah.
And it was a very different experience this year. I enjoyed PCC this year, but it was so busy.
Yeah, I mean, I think I only saw about 3/4 of my friends,
Yeah.
both artists and cosplayers alike,
Yep.
because I got lost a few times
Yeah.
trying to find everybody.
Well, it's like, oh, hey, I'm over here, like, via text. Like, it doesn't matter, because in, like, 2 hours when I find you, you're not going to be there anymore.
Well, as far as the amount of people that are coming to PCC, especially this year, they're expecting 90 to 100,000 next year.
Well, thank God.
So yeah, this year I think we hit over 78,000.
Yeah, I think they were going to estimate in the 100,000s, but they'd only hit, like, 78,000.
Yeah, but still,
Oh
it's
my.
quite a big jump from 55,000 from last year.
It's a big jump because I remember going to my first PCC was, gosh, it was at the Mesa Convention Center still.
Oh yeah, oh wow,
When it was, like, basically a hallway, a hill, and a parking lot.
what was that? That was 2009, 2010, I think.
I think it was 2008. About that time it had to be.
Yeah,
That was ridiculous. And it has taken off and I'm very proud of this convention. I still will make a point to go to this convention. If I can't go to any other ones, I will go to Phoenix Comic Con because it's such a good convention consistently every year. It's gonna have its hiccups, but I mean, what big event isn't?
exactly. I mean, it's always going to be one of those ever-growing conventions that will eventually swallow up, a lot of, I wouldn't say fun for some of the, original con goers because, they like to interact with their friends
Yeah.
and they like to interact with, people on the floor. And when you become one of the big, mega media meccas in the valley,
Right.
it changes.
It does change.
And for good and bad.
Hmm.
But I enjoy going. I get to go for free, but that's
Hey.
because I'm special and because I do coverage for them. So
Well, then it's well deserved.
it's well deserved. I don't have to pay that $80 bill,
Yay!
which will probably start rising even throughout the years.
Even more. And
Yes.
I still pre-order mine like the day they're available, so I don't worry about that.
Yeah, I always warn people, do it before New Year's because
Oh my god,
that's when the
yeah.
prices go skyrocketing.
Like you can't even obtain tickets after that. It's like whatever. That's way too expensive.
Exactly. Exactly. Now, did you ever go to like conventions like Amazing Arizona Con?
I did. I went to that for one day. earlier this year, and I was really underwhelmed, but I did go in the evening when things were kind of winding down. I'm glad I didn't buy a ticket because it was very dealer's hall, not very cosplay oriented, and I enjoy dealer's halls, obviously, but like I said, I've seen everything so many times. It's pretty much the same across the board.
Yeah.
So yeah, I went. I mean, if they're going to, do you know if they're going to do it again?
Oh yeah, they do it every year. In fact, they originally started Amazing Arizona Con originally started where Phoenix started off at the Mesa Convention Center, and then
Really?
moved there. You know, I think it was in 2000.
That was
What
11, right?
was it? 2012. I think they moved
Yeah,
to.
because weren't they doing it in January, like early January?
Yeah, now they're doing it in
Yeah.
early February for
Yeah.
next year.
I really like having a convention that time of year though, because it's so freaking hot here.
Yeah, you would
Why
think
would you
Phoenix.
not have a convention that time?
You would think Phoenix would do that, but Phoenix does it in the summer. But yeah. Luckily, there's a lot of inside activities for people that don't want to fry outside. I feel bad for people coming out of state though. They come here and they go, "Why would you have a convention in June?"
Because we're psychotic, that's why.
Well, you know, I've lived here my whole life, so I'm used to it.
Okay.
I walk out in the summer in pants, and people from the north that come down here are like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "I'm used to it."
See, I've been here 8 years and I'm still like not used to it. I don't think you ever get used to it. I think you just kind of forget about it sometimes.
You block it out. You know,
Yeah, you're like, oh, it's not bad.
I'm a an AC repairman, so going up in the summer is sort of something I've gotten used to.
Uh-huh. Doing that job, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, that's fun. 121 degrees working on air conditioners.
Yay!
Yay! Okay, so to get away from all the things cosplay very quickly, we want to know about who you are and what you like.
Oh no.
Yes, like what are your favorite films
Oh
and
god.
what have you seen recently?
Favorite films? That's a tough question because I want to go into filmmaking. Um, and I can never just shoot off favorite films. I really like Donnie Darko. That was a very artfully done film. Bop, 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 bop. Of course, I like the Marvel movies. I criticize the newer ones because they're all plot twist based, but they're good. Um, hmm. I can tell you what I don't like. Would that help?
Okay.
I don't like Rent. I hate Rent with a bloody passion. Can't stand it. Gosh, what else? The Breakfast Club. I hate the Breakfast Club. I did not see the amazement behind Pulp Fiction. Sure, it had some cool camera angles, but it wasn't the greatest thing that was ever created. Gosh, so I mean, that's that. I tend to like action-y type things and or like artful things that don't try really hard. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. No, as far as, artsy, actiony things, there's a movie that you might want to try to check out.
Mm-hmm.
If you're into that artsy area, also an action-packed area, and also like Captain America. It's a movie called Snowpiercer.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that. I haven't gotten a chance to check it out yet.
Yeah, I think the only theater in Phoenix area, I think is the Shea 14. I think that's the
Oh.
only one that it's playing because it's in limited release, which is disappointing because it's such a good film, but it doesn't. I guess it doesn't appeal to a
A
huge
wide
American
enough audience.
a large enough American audience. It does have the action part in it, but it's more of an allegory to
Right.
caste systems, and
Okay.
it's really well done. And I think this is Chris Evans' best role he's ever done.
Oh, good for him.
So he's
That poor
really
guy has seen some stuff.
he's a really underrated actor. He's put in. I think he's sort of typecast a lot of times as the action hero,
Absolutely.
and never really given a role to
With the depth.
yeah, to show the extreme depth. And you see an extreme depth in here. Just think of the movie The Road on a Train.
Okay.
So that's. I hope I didn't spoil it for anybody that's listening. But they probably won't be able to see it because it's probably not in their part, either in their city, or they probably are waiting to watch it on Blu-ray.
Right.
So, yeah, that's definitely a movie to check out. I'm a huge movie buff myself. I've been a movie critic for like 8 years.
Nice.
So, I love films.
Right.
That's my thing. So.
And
Yeah.
see, it's tough because, like, I could never do that because I have such a weird, it takes a very strange combination of things to please me with movies.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so picky in a way that I can't explain. Like, so you can never, like, recommend a movie to me that will probably be successful. Um, my combination of things that I like, I don't know why I like the things I like, but they're very specific things, let me tell you.
Well, different movie critics have, different bias or different things that they enjoy, even though there are a lot of times they're given movies that they probably don't want to sit down and watch or feel embarrassed to
Right.
even be sitting in the theater, to watch, aka Oogie Loves. Don't ask.
Oh.
Oh, God. That's a horrible movie. Anyway, even a horrible movie for kids standards.
Mm.
But sometimes as a critic, you have to sit there, write your
And
review up, and then probably have to go to the toilet and throw up and cry a little bit. Yeah,
my job is so hard.
it's not as easy as it sounds.
I
Free
yeah.
movies don't always mean it's going to be the
Good
best job in
movies.
the world.
I feel that. Oh, my needle broke. No.
But okay, so do you also play video games?
You know, I don't, and it's not because I don't like video games or I don't like want to play video games. I just never have the time,
Hmm.
I guess. Like I said, I grew up in a really small town in Iowa, and everyone had like the PlayStation 1, except for me. I had the original old like Nintendo and Atari systems. So that's what video games were to me. Um, yeah, and then I moved out here, and obviously like, everyone was so much further ahead. I didn't even know what a DVD player was back there, so that gives you an insight.
Like,
Um,
what's a DVD player? I have a Blu-ray.
I know, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, Blu-ray is coming out," and I'm like, "What the hell's a DVD? What do you mean Blu-ray? I'm still on VCRs, man. Come on." It was definitely weird, but I mean, yeah, they just takes a lot of dedication, and I mean, I can focus on things for sure. Like, obviously, I make really intricate costumes, but I don't know. I mean, I can sit down and I can play Skyrim for like a few hours, but after a while, the graphics make me kind of nauseous because it moves in such a way. Um, I like playing The Sims. I did play the Saints Row series, and I liked them a lot. The third one was the best. I never played Final Fantasy. I think it's because I didn't have the resources to do so, but I did play Kingdom Hearts. On my PlayStation 2, everything else I had to, kind of watch friends play. But, yeah, I'm not a super big video game person, and I feel definitely, like, left out of a lot of conversations at conventions because I don't play video games.
There's always Wikipedia to help you
There is
out.
always Wikipedia.
Yeah, I think I remember reading that on Wikipedia. You're saying you didn't play it? No, but I read about it.
Yeah, definitely. I
Definitely.
mean, and I watch my family play video games. My mom will sit and play Assassin's Creed for hours, and I play Grand Theft Auto with her, and those kind of games. So, Mass Effect.
That's an interesting mother.
I have an awesome family.
Now, let's see. What type of music do you like?
Gosh, again, it's kind of really broad yet very specific. I like Florence and the Machine a whole lot.
Hmm.
I like things that are very like ethereal and earthy, so like a lot of drums and that type of stuff. But I mean, I can rock out to classic rock. If there's a certain kind of metal, I'll listen to metal. I like Marina and the Diamonds. I really like Elvis. I like old music. So like, music from the 50s and 60s, I'll jam out to when no one's around. Um, it's like it's such a weird salad of things. It's kind of whatever. I mean, I grew up listening to country, so there's not really anything that I won't listen to. I won't gravitate towards like rap and R&B voluntarily, but if someone shows me something that's they're like really good and whatever, then I'll listen to it. So I'm not really biased with music.
Would you ever consider doing karaoke with your friends?
Oh God, no, because that's like not even enjoyable to me. That's just like constant embarrassment.
I know that this year's Phoenix Comic Con they had a booth that had karaoke, and
Yes, they did.
I visited it so many times that they actually didn't even need me to write my name down.
This guy.
They knew who I was, and they actually gave me a free T-shirt because I sang there so many
Hey.
times.
Oh my god, cool.
Yeah, so
Way to be outgoing.
it's really hard to sing with a mask on because,
Mm,
yeah. But no,
absolutely.
it was fun. I'm trying to get a group of my friends to go out and do uh karaoke, but they're
I
all
will
like,
not be in that group.
you would have to get us drunk first.
Get a little bit tipsy, and then we'll see.
Exactly. Now, to get back to the cosplay thing, how did you get involved with the Arizona Avengers in the first place?
I knew a member who, well, she was an ex-member. Her name was Angel, and she's still alive. Her name is Angel. Um, and we hang out and stuff, and she was their kid Loki, and I think she did something else for them, and she wasn't a part of their group anymore. Um, I don't really know why or anything, but she just told me about them all the time, and I was like, oh, they sound so cool and like so, refined and elite. And I would walk by their booth like the last couple of years at Comic Con, like yearning to just be a part of that. And I talked to them this year when I was Kid Loki and when I was Black Widow, and they were like, oh my god, yeah, you should totally join. And I'm like, oh wow, you guys aren't assholes. That's amazing. So I sent them an email, and they were like, all right, hey, cool, here you go, welcome to the Avengers. And I was like, wow, that was easy.
Yeah, a bunch of the uh, nonprofit charity groups here are very nice to the people that want to join.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was part of the AZA, and then my website took over, or took it got bigger, and I
Yeah.
was more in charge of some of the main operations there. And yeah, unfortunately, I had to quit the AZA because I could not be AZA and run a website at the same
Right.
time because
That's a
it
lot.
wasn't conflicting, it's just a lot of time taken up.
Yeah. Well, they're a really cool group of people. Like I was actually kind of blown away. I went to a pool party for Gus's birthday. It was his like 20th anniversary of his 21st birthday or some shit. It was great. Um, and I was really prepared to, have to kind of force my way into conversations and be awkward and like walk up to people and just start talking. But, everyone was just so warm and friendly, and I'm really excited to be in this group. I've only been in with them for about like a month and a half now, and I feel like I've known all these guys for like my whole life. It's so cool. Like I can't stress enough how awesome everyone is in this group.
That's awesome. And we can't wait to see what other, costumes that you decide to do in the future with the AZA, and
Hmm.
what, more pictures coming out from events as well, because, they do a lot throughout the year.
Yeah,
So many
they really
events.
do.
Yeah, a lot of they do a lot of work with the Phoenix Children's Hospital, and Kids Need to Read works with them.
Yeah. And I'm so into that. I'm so excited. I can't wait to do more events with kids. I mean, I had no idea because from like hearing about them and not actually looking them up, I just thought that they were a group of costumers. I didn't know what they did. I just thought they hung out. And finding out that they actually, do things and bring joy to kids, which is like my favorite part of conventions anyway. Because how great is that to have a kid like walk by and go, "Mom, that's Black Widow!" It's really cool. Um, and so I was really excited to find that out. So they are truly an awesome charity group that knows how to have fun too.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And ever since Gus has taken over, he's tried to keep the group to to have fun.
Right.
He wants the people to enjoy themselves while they're there, not just be there and go to these charity groups and be extremely bored, and then nothing
Yep.
happens after that, and then you're just like, here's the next event. And no, he's really working hard, and he has worked hard as leader so far. I think he's in his second term as leader, as the Arizona Avengers commander or CO.
Hmm. Captain, maybe?
Yeah, well, I consider him CO, so
That makes sense.
commanding officer.
Commanding
So
officer.
yeah, so he's done a very good job since their last CO, and
Hmm.
he's worked very hard to keep the AZA strong, and make sure that they're spreading the right message out to the
Yeah,
community, because there have been, unfortunately, things out there that have been giving cosplayers somewhat of a bad name,
absolutely.
and I don't particularly want to say much because I actually know half the people on this particular television show. So that's not.
Yeah, that wasn't vague at all. Yeah,
that wasn't vague. You know, the first season was. Yeah, they did poorly with the first season, and the second season started off good, or well, and then all of a sudden all the editing involved.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I was very much against that program from the second I heard about it because I could predict every single moment that was going to happen on television, and I wasn't wrong.
Well, there are things there are two sides to the story, and it depends on who you talk to and depends on what you read.
Yeah.
I say never make a judgment call unless you hear from both parties. It's because people can take an argument or a conversation, and if it's only from one side, that's the only, and you make an assumption from that. Well, personally for me, that's wrong. You shouldn't do that.
Well, biased, absolutely.
Yeah. You want to hear from both sides and then formulate your own ideas on what really happened. Otherwise, you're just taking it from one side, whether they're right or the other party's wrong. So
absolutely. No, I heard I read the pitch for it, and I saw the preview for it, a little bit later, and it was before I heard any of the "this is why I hate this show" arguments, on Tumblr and stuff.
Yeah.
I was just upset because I knew exactly what was going to happen because it's reality TV.
Yeah.
I'm not like, oh, those darn reality TV. That's just what people watch. You know what I mean? But unfortunately, with the rise of people, oh, you do cosplay, I know what that is, they're seeing this projected image of these frantic, crazy events and these people who drop thousands of dollars, given that some of us do that. But you know what I mean? They're getting this very, very specific image of cosplayers that, of course, isn't all cosplayers. It's a very small percentage of cosplayers that are able to do that.
Yeah, and as far as heroes of cosplay is concerned, they really should focus also on the charity groups of cosplay.
Absolutely,
because that's
hero work.
Yeah, that's when they become real heroes, because that's when you see them really sacrificing, not for a contest. They're not getting paid. They're helping out charities that are getting money, but they're not getting paid. They're voluntary. Yeah. And they're giving their time, they're giving, their gas, their travel time, depending on what part of the state they're in, aka
it's never my part
Maricopa.
of the state.
We're not going to say who lives in that area. But
cough, cough.
Cough, cough. But no, they're giving their time and themselves for a good cause, and I wish that they really had one of those reality shows. I know some people that are trying to push to get something like that type of cosplay show on television. It's a hard pitch to producers because they want to see lots of drama. They want to
see the glamour, and they want to see the crazy people and what the American audience is gonna want to see. You know what I mean? And especially on Sci-Fi, because Sci-Fi puts out some really interesting reality shows.
Yeah, which is weird when they put it on Sci-Fi, but
yeah, I mean, where else are you gonna put it? I guess.
Well, if they had G4, that would have been a perfect place to put anything involving comic, cosplay related stuff or anime cosplay related stuff. But because G4 screwed themselves, that's no longer on there anymore.
Yeah,
It's a channel for metrosexual men.
Yep, absolutely. I think Sci-Fi already had the Face Off show, which I enjoyed because I was really passionate about theatrical makeup and cinematic makeup for a long time. That's how I got into my current career. I enjoyed the show, but I also knew that a lot of the stuff that they were doing was just for drama. And so they already had that, making costume, makeup-y type thing. And so I think obviously they had some folks in their midst that knew what cosplay was. And so, they gotta just go from there, and it really caught on because people were already watching Face Off, where costumes were happening at a professional level, and so they're taking it one knock down and going into, quote unquote, everyday life cosplayers. So I think that's why it hit Sci-Fi and why it, I guess, has been a success as far as ratings are concerned, I'm sure.
Yeah, otherwise they wouldn't have a second season. So
No, absolutely not.
no, there are parts in there where I enjoy seeing the cosplayers work because they do put a lot of dedication in a lot of their
Oh, absolutely.
cosplays. But when it comes to how people view the community as a whole, that's not that's not the way I would want people to you know rate me as a cosplayer. They're like, wait,
Right.
wait, you don't do this and this, like that doesn't make you a cosplayer. Like,
What do
no.
you mean you don't sew things last minute in the room and cry every 5 minutes about something? Yeah, no, you're not a cosplayer, totally.
Yeah, I know it's like you miss the point of what cosplay really means. It means it's just
Hmm.
to have fun dressing up. You guys have completely, missed the point on what, the definition of cosplay is. And that's when you get into the whole, memes about, people, you know, putting people down because they don't make their own costumes or they
Hmm.
don't play in their own race, quote unquote, or they don't do this. And then you get people bullying other people, which
Hmm.
I know people, I have friends that have gone to conventions for the first time and they cosplayed for the first time and that was the last time they cosplayed
Yep.
because
It's really unfortunate.
because they got made fun of, they got talked about,
Yep.
and it's like, this is not how I want to see the cosplay community represented because we're not a bunch of bullies, we're not a bunch of asses.
Yeah. I
We're
mean, every single group that you ever get involved with is always going to have its great people and always going to have its assholes.
Oh yeah, and I've been
So
in
I
this
mean,
for a long
it's not
time.
like it's unique to cosplay at all.
Exactly. And like I said, I've been in this for a long time and I've seen that in groups before. And I've seen that in, non-groups. Like I said,
Yeah.
um I'm not really one to talk because I play I'm Asian or AKA Filipino. And I play
As known
Deadpool.
as.
So Deadpool, who's a masked character who's um white. But yeah, I just wear a mask.
Well, sure, and like I would have never known if you didn't take off your mask. Well, it's not like it matters. That's what I mean. If you're a cosplayer who's gonna go for accuracy, like to the extreme, then okay, make some decisions that are going to make you happy and, you know, do your own thing. But as far as like seeing someone who's, like Johnny's a black guy and he cosplays Hawkeye, who is the whitest guy of white guys, right?
Yes.
And it doesn't matter because he's still a really good Hawkeye, and I have such a great time just being around him as Kate. And I mean, it never even crossed my mind when I was, hanging out with everybody that, oh, he's black. Like, oh no, Hawkeye's white. Like, who gives a shit? If you really are picking on someone like that, you need to step back and reevaluate yourself.
Yeah. I mean, what are you doing with your life?
Yeah, seriously.
He's like, well, I play video games at home in the basement.
In the basement and don't talk to anybody, but damn that cosplayer for not being the right skin tone.
Yeah, and that's when it takes the fun out of what cosplay is really about, and that
Yeah. And what
definitely
gets me is like we're all nerds in costumes. Why you gotta be like that?
exactly
We're just a bunch of nerds.
that is very true. Now we're actually getting to the end of our interview. I would do you have any other things that you would like to talk about before we finish?
I don't know what would be appropriate to talk about.
Pretty much anything. You can talk about pretty much anything.
Um, I mean, if there was something that I could say to any new cosplayers or people who are being introduced to cosplay via the current cosplay climate, because like we said, it is so different than it used to be. It would be just don't make it a sport. Don't make it a contact sport. Don't make it any kind of sport. You can make it a competition if you want to do that, but do that in a formal setting. Um, and I remember it used to just be so fun, and now I'm so scared to, like my Kate Bishop costume. I hate that costume because it's not accurate, and I was so afraid of someone saying something to me. But all I got was positive, reactions. It shouldn't matter what quote quality your cosplay is. If you're having fun, that's all that matters. And I got caught up in making it a contest, and it sucked the fun out of it, and I lost friends, and it was this whole ugly mamma jamma. So that's all I can really say, and it sounds so cheesy. Oh hey, just keep fun, but really, just keep it fun, and always cosplay characters that you want to do. I mean, you can let things like your height or your body type or whatever dictate your choices, and I let my height dictate my choices, and that's okay for me. Because I'm happy with that, but don't let other people make that choice for you. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So that's all I can really say if you're a new cosplayer.
All right. Well, I would like to thank Billy, aka Petite Bijou, Cosplay.
Your pronunciation is so nice.
Yes. I would like to thank you for being on our premiere episode of Cosplay Spotlight.
Aw, well, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be a part of this new thing you're doing. I had no idea how to pronounce your title, so I'm happy I got to hear you pronounce it.
Yeah, just J-Pool. It's very simple. Yeah,
I was talking about the Gnerd thing.
Oh,
I was like, what
Gnerd.
is that?
Well, yeah. Well, I did explain it in another show that I did recently. It's a geek slash nerd. It's
okay.
Yeah, because
Well,
there are the geeks and there are the nerds, but then there are the nerds who are both, which I am.
That's very fair.
Which I am a nerd, so.
Well, I'm glad we can make a new title.
Well, it's not my title. It was from Attack of the Show, so.
Oh,
they're no longer on.
Show.
Yeah, they're no longer on, so
Bummer.
I'm gonna take that little word and run with it.
Take it.
Until they come after me and they're like, well, you don't have a property anymore, so.
Get out of here with your little web show.
Exactly. All right, we'll also like to thank the listeners for listening in our new episode of Cosplay Spotlight. Please go to our website. That's on, well, it's not on an official website right now. It's more of a free Wix website. Yeah, it's one of those things until I get a domain. But yeah, it's technically J-Pool's Gnerd Corner. You can find me on Facebook, which is probably easier to link to the website. J-Pool's Gnerd Corner on Facebook. I also have a Twitter, which is, I believe, at Dr.2285. I have to change that, but it's a Twitter. I post all my news stories on there as well, and upcoming podcasts. So please go there and give us a like as well. And once again, I would like to thank Billy for coming on tonight.
Aww.
And please go to her Facebook.
Yay.
At Petite Bijou Cosplay. I think was it at Petite Bijou?
Yeah, most of my things are going to be Petite Bijou, or they're going to be Petite Bijou Cosplay. I feel like if you Google me, you can just find me, but I guess there's also a porn actress with this name, so be careful.
Exactly. It's kind of like running into a cosplayer named Tiffany Minx. You gotta be careful which Tiffany Minx you pop up on Facebook.
Yep. Don't do that in public.
It's like, wait a minute. I thought Tiffany Minx had the Hulk was her dad. This is not the same Tiffany Minx.
Oh my god, that could go wrong so
That could go wrong so badly.
Alright, well we're being the Arizona vendors in a parking lot. Goodbye! Oh, goodbye! Goodbye!
Goodbye! And thank you for listening, everybody.
Have a good night, guys!
Good night.